Hi children, for the rest of this week you're going to be looking at comparing decimals using the understanding that you had earlier on this week. So firstly, remember, the further left the place value column, the greater the value. So for example, 1/10 is bigger than 1/100th. To remember this, just think of a cake as we always do in maths. You'd rather have one slice of cake that had been split into 10 pieces rather than a slice of cake that had been in total split into 100 pieces. Now, it's easier to put decimals in order if we have the same number of digits after the decimal point. It's just like normal ordering. So for these numbers, I want you to put them in order from the smallest to the largest. This should be quite easy because you just need to look at the numbers after the decimal places, as we've got a 0 in all of the ones column. Now you should have found that looking at the numbers after the decimal places, as they all had the same number of digits, they all had 3 numbers after the decimal place. You can basically think of it as 485, 184, 945 and 453. You can just read the numbers after the decimal place in this situation and then order them. So the smallest number we know is going to be 0.184, followed by 0.453, 0.485 and then finally 0.945. Now, if they haven't got the same number of digits after the decimal place, there is a series of steps that you need to remember. So for these questions, we're going to be putting 0.12, 0.302, 0.5 and 0.06 from the highest to the lowest. Now, we cannot really compare them easily at the moment because they've got all different digits. So 0.12 has 2 digits after the decimal place. 0.5 has 1, whilst 0.302 has 3 digits, so it's a bit confusing to compare them. So first of all, you need to look at these numbers and decide which one has the most number of digits after the decimal place. Is it 0.12 with 2 digits, the 1 and the 2? 0.302 with 3 digits after the decimal place? 0.5 that just has 1 digit? Or 0.06? That has 2 digits. Now you should identify from this that the 0.302 has the most amount of digits after the decimal place, as it has 3 numbers after the decimal place. So that's the first step. Identify that number that has the most digits after the decimal place. Your next step is to add zeros to the other decimals so that they all have this number of digits after the decimal place. So we need to make sure that all of the numbers have 3 digits after the decimal place. Now, as 0.12 had 2 numbers after the decimal place, we just have to add 1 0. We don't need to touch 0.302 because that was our starting number. 0.5 only has 1 digit, so we need to add 2 more zeros. And 0.06 has 2 digits, so we need to add 1 more 0. You'll now notice that all of our numbers have 3 digits after the decimal place, so it's much easier to compare. So we can just put them in order of size like we did at the beginning from the highest to lowest. So you should have found that 0.500 is the highest, then 0.302, then 0.120 and then 0.060. Because now that you've all got the same number of digits after the decimal place, you can just compare them easily. Have a go at these ones, putting them in order, following the steps at the side of the slides. So you should find that looking at the decimals for the number of digits after the decimal place, out of 0.42, 0.2, 0.24, 0.021 and 0.04, the number with the most digits after the decimal place is 0.21. That has 3 digits after the decimal place, so that's the one that we're focusing on. Then you need to add the zeros after all of the other digits to make sure they all have 3 numbers. So it should now look like it does on the screen. And then you can just put them in order, depending on what the question has asked you to do. As long as you're following those 3 simple steps, you should find it straightforward to be able to compare decimals. You just need to make sure you're looking at the furthest column on the left to be able to compare them. Good luck!